pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the nation for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call to order the regular town council meeting for the town of Hudson for March 2nd at 6 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Stadler. Here. Councilmember Knoll. Here. Councilmember Hammack.
Here.
Councilmember Warren.
Here.
Councilmember Viskins. Here. Mayor Hargis.
Here. Are there any additions to the agenda?
No, there are no additions.
Point of the meeting for citizens' comments. Anybody wishing to address the council on anything that is not already set for public hearing on the agenda may do so at this time. And step forward to the podium, state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes. Or anybody online if they would like to address the council. You muted her, so she can't.
I can ask her to unmute.
Okay, looks like nobody wishing to address the council at this time. Consent agenda. Did everybody get a chance to go through the consent agenda, and are there any questions?
Yes. So there's a bill for $200,000.
Yes, that was a fun check to write.
Okay. What exactly is that for?
We got a grant from CDOT and that's the match. So this was in your 2021 budget. And it's
Okay.
actually a line item called out in your budget.
Yep, it's been there a long time.
It has. And they finally finished the project and finally requested the money. And essentially, when you get a grant, the grant's really tied to the project closeout and finishing the project. So that's why it took so long, because it took them a long time to finish the project.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, no problem.
Any other questions? If not, then I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Stadler. Yes. Councilmember Hammack.
Yes.
Councilmember Warren.
Yes.
Councilmember Knoll.
Yes.
Councilmember Viskins.
Yes.
And Mayor Hargis.
Yes. General business 2A, ordinance 22-01, an ordinance amending Article 19 of Chapter 2 of the Hudson Municipal Code, the Hudson Recreation Committee, first reading. This is the one continued from last meeting.
Yes. So I will very generally kind of state the purpose of these amendments is to really create more opportunities for people to serve as committee members. And some of the changes that were made were really, that was the impetus of them. The one that we discussed that it was really, how do we minimize the kind of the potential negative effects of the wording that we had? What we ended up with, which is probably a good place to start, is that we talked about a majority of the committee members being residents of the town. The issue before, if you'll remember, was that the language that we had led it to be where maybe it could be non-residents that made up the majority of the committee. And what's the right number to make sure that doesn't happen? We split a lot of hairs on this, and what you ended up with in your packet, which is the majority language, was the best way we could come up with the way that the committee could easily deal with the issue if it ever came up. Pretty straightforward way for them to deal with it. And in this particular instance, say there were 2 residents or 2 non-residents and 1 resident. One of those non-residents may need to recuse themselves from any voting or anything like that. That way there's equal representation. Or if, let's say there's 4, that's bad math. 4, there's 2 residents and 2 non-residents, it would make one of those residents have to recuse themselves so that there was always a resident majority. Thank you for letting me revise my math. So that's kind of how that would work. If we had a 2-person committee, we would need to have a conversation about how that committee would function anyway. So this was kind of the best way we thought we could get at the issue and make sure we didn't cause the committee itself to just kind of stop functioning because they didn't know how to function if they had more residents or more non-residents than residents.
So the non-resident, they can live in Denver and be in our.
So the non-resident is meant to be somebody who, and I know a lot of people who call and talk about our facilities. They don't always live in Hudson. Maybe they live right on the other side of Holly Street on County Road 47. They're still going to use our facilities because they're close. And so having their input is what the intent of that was. because they basically are still, when I say Hudson residents, they're not
They
in
have a
town.
Hudson address, but
Yes.
not
Not
a
a-
resident
But
of
not
the
a
town.
resident of Hudson.
All right, so as long as
A
that.
mail-in address, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they would use our facilities. They would
Alright.
use the parks. They would use our spaces
All right,
and come to our events. I mean, there's a lot of people who've come to these events over the years that haven't always been technically Hudson residents, but they felt like they are.
all right, thank you.
Great. Any other comments, questions? Then I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 21-01, an ordinance amending Article 19, Chapter 2 of Hudson Municipal Code regarding the Hudson Recreation Committee.
First reading.
First reading.
I second it, but it's 22-01.
Did he say 21?
22-01.
Oh,
Well, it does say 21.
It
Does
does
it?
say 21.
Oh, on the paper, it says 22.
22. Yeah, on the
Yeah.
computer it says 21.
because I got 22. Okay. I heard 22, but thank you for pointing that out. 2201 is just first reading.
I'm in every year.
All in favor. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. 2B, Resolution 22-16, a resolution approving a professional services agreement with Robert Half International Incorporated for bookkeeping services.
Okay, so two things. Robert Half is actually a temp service agency. And another thing is if you remember in your the 2022 budget that you all passed at the end of last year, the clerk, HR, and finance functions really got parsed apart. The clerk was set up as one personnel and then the HR and finance person was supposed to be another. What I have found in this short amount of time that have been trying to find these people in these positions is that an HR person with a finance background is even more rare than a unicorn. And so we've really needed a payroll function at this point, somebody to step in. It's not that I'm not smart, but I don't do payroll for a living. So, we've had Lorraine helping us through the first month, and we really needed to have somebody who had payroll experience come in. Robert Half is fulfilling that need for us right now as a true temp. This would put them on board for about 6 months and fulfilling any kind of temp needs that we have. And then in the meantime, we're trying to find somebody with really more of a focused finance background because we've got our HR support, which you'll hear in my staff report is going very well. So, but that's the purpose of this particular agreement.
Any other questions? If not, then I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve resolution 22-16, a resolution approving a professional services agreement with Robert Half International, Inc. for bookkeeping services.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 2C, Resolution 2217, a resolution approving a professional services agreement with Benchmark Solutions LLC for law enforcement personnel records and management.
Scott will be up to present.
So Benchmark Analytics in the management system allows law enforcement agencies to enter, track, and analyze all law enforcement data for officer profiles, personnel information, all of our training, all of our mandated training, all of our use of force incidents, all of our internal affairs investigations, and all of our officer activity and productivity. So we're taking it from a paper-based system and having multiple files throughout the police department for a personnel file here and a training file over there and an internal affairs file over here. And we're going to consolidate that with Benchmark through an online cloud-based system and a secure server so that department managers, supervisors have that real-time access to analyze officer activities, community engagement for any complaints or any compliments that we receive. And one of the biggest things is to allow, if we have an emergency situation with an infected employee, to be able to just log into that system on our phone or on our laptop, get into that officer profile, and then make those next of kin notifications as soon as we can, instead of having to drive back to the police department, try and figure out what file it's in, and then make those notifications.
Only because I've been dealing with this sort of thing lately a lot with the FDA. Has this cloud-based service been validated to ensure that it is secure, that only those who have passwords and rights to be in it can get in?
It has. So we use a portion of this module now for Colorado Peace Officer Standards and Training.
Okay.
So all of our mandated training has to go through the benchmark system, uploaded into Colorado Post so that we're in compliance with our Rule 28 and Rule 17.
What's the cost?
$7,500.
Yearly, one time, what?
There's a portion of it that's a yearly setup fee to get started, and then it reduces for that yearly cost of about $5,000. And then there is room for inflationary cost of a 4%, up to a 4% increase if necessary.
Is that a year then?
It's a yearly, yes.
What made you pick Benchmark?
So Benchmark, like I was telling them, it is a vetted, secure system that all law enforcement agencies in Colorado are currently using to upload all their training records into Colorado Post. And this is now an opportunity to be able to select the rest of the modules so that we have that secure access, we have that full-time access, and we have one location where all of our files are located, and we can get out of this paper system and into a system that we can enter digitally.
Okay. Any other questions? Then I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve resolution 22-17, a resolution approving professional services agreement with Benchmark Solutions LLC for law enforcement personnel records and management.
I second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 2D, Resolution 22-18, a resolution appointing Candace Nolf to the Opioid Regional Council.
So you all did have a very general discussion at the last council meeting, and I think, Candace volunteered. Just kidding. But you are allowed to appoint one representative to the regional council, and this is regarding the opioid litigation that Weld County was part of, and a whole bunch of other cities in Weld County were also in towns were part of. So that's just a quick summary.
So does anybody have any questions? Not, then I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve resolution 22-18, a resolution appointing Candace Nolf to the opioid regional.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Candace, and thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
2E, Resolution 22-19, a resolution appointing Lisa, but how can I pronounce?
Biskins.
Biskins, thank you,
Biscuits.
to the Recreational Events Committee. I don't know why I always have trouble with that.
I was like, no one's gonna do the resolution because they can't pronounce her last name but me.
I should have let you do it. So everybody knows what it is. Elisa's going to sit on the Rec and Events Committee now. Are there any questions? Then I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve resolution 22-19, a resolution appointing Lisa Biskins to the Recreation and Events Committee.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And again, congratulations and thank you. 2F, Resolution 22-20, a resolution appointing Robert Hollister to the Hudson Planning Commission for a 4-year term.
So Mr. Hollister has been on the Planning Commission. His appointed term, which is what he was serving previously, has expired. And so he's actually seeking a full 4-year term. And he, like I said, he's currently on the Planning Commission, so he is looking for a reappointment.
Does anybody have any questions or comments or?
Is he here?
Mhm, he's
Yes.
up there in the front.
Right there. All right. Thanks.
He's almost always here. Well,
Yeah.
sometimes. So any questions? Then I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve resolution 22-20, a resolution appointing Robert Hollister to the Hudson Planning Commission for a 4-year term.
I second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Again, Congratulations and thank you. Staff reports. Jen.
So tablets, that's always a big point of conversation. Microsoft was real on me about you ready to pay, you ready to pay. And as soon as I did, they sent their shipment and I've been asking them, where's my shipment? Where's my shipment? So as soon as I get it, I will ask you, but it's on its way as far as I know. And as far as Microsoft in Redmond, Washington has let me know. So we're tracking it though. So hopefully by the next meeting, and I can't make any promises because every time I do, it doesn't happen. So maybe if I don't, it'll happen.
I'll just keep emailing. Do I need to bring my
Yep.
laptop?
Yep. So hopefully next time. We had a great presentation and interview today for our CDBG grants that Sophia had given you a presentation on a couple of meetings ago. CDBG is Community Development Block Grant. Sorry, I say it so fast now. It's kind of second language. But that is going to be 2 applications. One was for partial funding of the van. And then the other one was for sidewalks from Prairie View to connect to our new sidewalks that are kind of behind CDOT's right away on Beach Street. There's no ADA ramp there, there's no connection, and there's no sidewalk for a long ways to get to the apartments. So that would be the scope of that particular applications project. And I had mentioned a little earlier about HR, but we've got interviews already set up. We've got quite a few people who've already applied for positions we have open. Our HR group has really pushed our applications out there in a good way. We're on government jobs. We're on a website called Breezy, but Breezy pushes out to Monster, Indeed, all of those. And so we've gotten a lot of really good applicants. So it's been very successful to date so far. So we're very excited about it. Public Works jobs are getting posted now. So we are going to see what all we get back from them, but we're very excited about getting those posted. So that's it.
Source, what do you think? I mean, that if you have the applicants, do you have enough to move forward with that?
So like for people who are trying to fill these positions.
Is there like a timeline or anything like that?
So we hope so. The positions we posted are clerks. The police sergeant, administrative police sergeant, we had a resignation there. And then we're also posting the administrative finance support specialist position, which I was telling you was the finance
Right.
piece we're looking for permanently if we can ever find someone to fill that. And hopefully we can within 6 months, which is the agreement you just signed. But the other piece is we just started collecting applications probably about a week and a half ago. So we've screened and started kind of setting up our first rounds of interviews. So we hope we can get the 3 positions we have posted right now filled within the next few weeks. Of course, I'm like hoping, but you know, the market is so weird right now. So we're just going to continue to screen qualified applicants and try and get to them as soon as possible. That's part of, you know, one of the things that we have to do a little faster is actually contact people and get them in an interview and get them interested in the job. So that's kind of been the focus right now, is to reach out to those qualified applicants and get them on the calendar to come in
Do you
and
have
talk.
any luck with like the public works? Are you, I mean, with.
We just
people?
got that posted. So we had quite a few job descriptions to make sure and go through, since there's so
Mhm.
many positions open, to make sure we're filling the void with all of the skill sets needed. And we did that. So and if you looked on our website today, actually at 3, they might not have been up there, but at 3:30 they were. So
Oh,
they were
okay.
literally just posted.
All I have. Thank you.
Anything else for Jen?
I may not have heard this because I was diving into Matt's email. Was the water violation reports that were sent out, there was a date on there from 2019. Was that just like a typo, or is that actually from that many years ago?
It is actually from that many years ago. And the state requires you to reach out to people, even if it happened 3 years ago, to let them know what happened 3 years ago.
Do we know?
Why nothing was done 3
Yes.
years ago?
Yeah. Is there any? I know you're sitting as interim town manager. It would have been a better question for the
Yeah.
guy in charge in 2019, but.
I think I was here at the middle part of 2019. But, I can't, Lee might be able to speak to that a little more. I know he mentioned it at the last meeting, had to do, and we talked about looping water lines and water being stagnant and staying one place too long. That's, when you have a line that dead ends and it sits there and doesn't get pushed and moved around, That's
Yeah.
where we got the violation from. And since then, it hasn't been an issue, but the water didn't move enough and it collected organic materials, which is what the violet, it's those 5 letters that is an acronym for a really long Latin word. Yeah. Yeah. And Lee can speak more about it if you want when he comes up for a staff report as well.
Yeah. I mean, my main concern was it was a violation that happened in 2019, but obviously you can see there was a number of issues with town members were like, well, if this was a violation in 2019, why is it we just finding out about it in 2022? That was the big.
And that actually is an interesting question. I need to find out the answer, what was done in 2019 when we got the violation, because the state wouldn't have let us not let people know that we got the
Right.
violation at that time. So
We
something would have
got a
happened.
Violation letter. I want to say it was
Yes.
2019 for water.
I thought
It
it was
was like
not too long
3
ago.
months behind, but we still got
It
it.
was
But
the
it was,
same, yeah.
I was gonna
Was
say, I
it
think
the-
it's the same.
'cause that
thing for
one-
this.
That one Lee said was from the chemical plant and the last one
It's from the
was,
prison, right?
no,
So-
the library here and here, because they
Oh.
weren't running enough water here. Again, this is the end of the line.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just know we got one in.
I know, and we've
2019.
had them.
Yeah,
So it might have come out and nothing, I don't know, maybe they felt nothing was done. I don't,
They retested the water and the water was fine the second time. The
'Cause that
first
was
time
in
they
the
didn't let
letter.
it- They didn't let it
right,
run.
for here,
They didn't, for here, they didn't let the water
Right.
run long enough for taking the sample.
right, because it's the same thing. It sits.
Mhm.
Not enough water is run through, which is one of the reasons we need to get a circular system in the water line. But yeah, when Lee comes up, Lee can, we'll put him on the hot spot and have him.
But it's not really a surprise that the state would make you report on something that's,
Yeah.
even
just
5
couldn't
years
imagine
old.
That the state would let it go for that long.
Right,
without saying something.
right.
So.
and I can do some research to try and find out what happened in what they sent in 2019. Just to see what was sent out to everybody. But my assumption would have been as soon as we got the letter of violation, we would have been, just like with this letter. Oh, by the way, remember you have to send out these letters again in 2022. They would have sent a very similar letter of, oh, by the way, you failed your test, send out this letter to everybody now, and would have given us a deadline.
And then I think when people get that, they're like 2019. Yeah.
Well, I was like, well, that must be a
Freak
typo.
out.
That's. too
Uh-huh.
bad.
Well, and I'm not, you can't fault people for not remembering what happened
Right.
3 years ago in their mail, right? So.
And because Lee told us last meeting, I didn't even look at the date.
Yeah.
I
When I
didn't
saw,
either.
when I
Either.
saw
I
the
assumed
date,
it was from
people,
the one.
I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's what I assumed.
that's,
just-
when I heard
Yeah.
about it, that's what I assumed. So, okay. Anything else? Anything else for Jen? Hillary, I gotta make you say something tonight.
I don't have anything to report.
Thank you. Heather,
Hmm.
Don't think I have any.
I think there's something you want to tell everybody.
Okay. So Friday will be my last day working here. And I've really, really liked working here, so thank you all for the good time and good opportunity, but.
And Heather has been
yeah,
a
so
lot of
this is
support,
My last meeting,
and
Where are
she's
you off
been,
to?
Lockwood. It's where I live, so
Yeah, I know.
close for sitting in the kitchen. So that was my main choice, was just better for my home life.
We are going to miss you.
Yes.
We are.
Best of luck in your new endeavor, but we are going to miss you.
I will too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott, do you have anything else for us?
I'd just like to second what Jennifer said. We do have open recruitment for our administrative sergeant position. Sergeant Nicole Brick has tendered her resignation. Our last day's Friday. That job announcement closes next week. We should have somebody filled in that position in the next couple of weeks pending, background checks and medicals and things of that nature. But we have a couple of good candidates that we should be able to choose from.
And is, other than the chief, is that the only other position we're
Yes.
going to be missing?
That's the only position that will be missing. We'll be shorthanded for just a couple of weeks.
Okay.
and code enforcement.
And code enforcement.
Well, yeah,
We're working on code enforcement.
okay. Anything else?
No.
Anything for Scott? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lee?
I didn't hear all of the question about the trihalomethanes.
Basically it was focused on, let me think about a way to re-ask it, because I don't think I was very clear the first time. I'm curious as to why it was a violation that occurred in 2019. Why was the notice sent out in 2022? Does that make sense?
The one in 2019, I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
The one in 2022, the one we just had,
Mhm.
was a different violation.
Okay, because we got 2 letters in the mail. One had the date of 2022 on it,
One of them was the backflow
the backflow.
Backflow.
and one was the,
Which we had talked
the
about.
big long word out at the chemical plant.
The other one
Right.
was for the long one at the plant.
Yeah.
That was the date on it was 2019. So there was a lot of concern in the town that they were getting something that we violated in 2019. We're just now hearing about it. So,
Yeah, I'm not sure about the one in 2019. I was still in the streets back
yeah,
then.
okay.
But the one just recently at the chemical plant,
Can you guys fill me in? I'm just curious. What, was it a letter issued by the state or was it issued by the town? Okay.
Yes,
And it went to all the residents, to all
Yes.
the water customers?
I wonder if
Okay.
they doubly sent on accident.
It's possible, and that's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
Or
I'm
if
wondering
they just didn't
redid
change the date.
19, or they just did the same letter and didn't, change the year and the date.
Yeah, and that's why I asked.
So they actually sent us the letter.
Okay,
It was drafted. They basically send you a template and say, send this letter out.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
but that was based on the most recent test out at the chemical plant, right?
yes.
So I bet the template
The
just
date
didn't
wasn't
change the date.
changed.
Yeah, it
That's
sounds
probably
like
what
there
it was.
wasn't something in 2019. It sounds like it was the most recent, because it was the exact same thing that he told us about last meeting. It was just the wrong date.
Yeah,
My understanding, there's a water quality one and a backflow one, right?
We got both letters.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
There
check
were
it.
2 letters.
We'll check and see about the 2019 one.
I know we got a letter back in
Back in
2019.
20, I
So
remember
I
that.
bet you
Yeah.
it's the template. They just.
It was. I remember printing the labels and everything for it.
We think you're right. We will check.
Okay. And when you find out, would you please get it out on the website and social media so that everybody in town understands why that was for that time difference that may or may not have been a time difference? Thank you. What else is going on in Public Works? Our one and only, well, okay, there's 2 of you, but the one and only worker. I just want to say, the last snowstorm, I know with the 2 of you, thank you so much for all that you did to get the roads as clear as you did.
Thank you.
I know you guys worked hard, just the 2 of you, and I, for one, really appreciate it.
Thank you. And we get more snow coming this weekend.
I don't care. I won't be there.
Hopefully. Hopefully be rain.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot going on. We had some issues with a West Lift station, but it was we got a temporary fix going right now until we get the right parts in. Wastewater plant is working the way it's supposed to. Yes. The pump house is working the way it's supposed to. We are gathering information to send to the state about the trihalomethane violation and what we can do to fix it. Basic problem is we got way too much water stored out there and nobody's using it. And basically, the only thing we can come up with is to flush the hydrants to get fresh water in. But we're talking millions of gallons.
Yeah. Is there,
Do that, let me know so I can use some of that water for my lawn.
Yeah, please.
yeah, we might need it this year.
Yeah.
As far as that goes too, can we discuss with the fire department when they fill their trucks and fill things to go out there?
We could request that they go fill their trucks with those hydrants. If you need to flush, we could coordinate. I don't know. if
It's
they
not going to
could,
be
but we could
nearly
ask.
enough that they need to flush through, but at least if we can get them out there, it'll get some of that water moving through.
Right.
So if somebody could coordinate with them, that would be great.
I'll contact the fire marshal and I'll ask him if he would be interested in doing that.
Thank you.
Okay.
They got to fill in town somewhere. So tell them to go out there. Anybody have anything else for Lee? No? You have anything else, Lee? Thank you so much. Again, thank you for putting in so much work.
Thank you.
Jen, do you have anything as your planner hat?
I already told you about CDBG. That was
Yeah.
kind of it.
Okay. Daniel,
Just for clarification, that Allo stuff with BNSF was handled, right?
as far
Do
as I
remember
know,
that from last meeting?
Yeah.
So Allo and BNSF were all good there?
So we are moving along and we're waiting for our permit to get back. So essentially, this is how it flows with BNSF. We send it to a third party, you send it to another third party, you send it to another third party, and then they send it up the rank and file in BNSF. And then it goes back down the line and then comes back to us. We should be far enough down the line where it should be coming back soon. And they know we want it really bad and they also want it really bad. So
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Candace? Lisa?
No.
Joe?
I'm good.
Sarah?
Nothing today.
I would just like to point out, and especially for Lisa, and for those of you that are still in the audience, whoever gets appointed, you might really want to think about. Colorado Municipal League, the CML, puts on a big conference every year, as long as there's no COVID. This year, it's going to be up in Breckenridge, June 22nd through the 24th. The town always budgets for 3 people to go up. So that means they pay for your hotel. You'll get some reimbursement back for food. They'll pay for the conference. The conference is great. It has a lot of really good information on helping you as a council member, learning from other municipalities throughout the entire state. So I highly recommend, if you are able to take that couple of days and go up there and deal with it, please do so. Unfortunately, I accepted a full-time job again, so I'm not going. So anybody who wants to go really should think about it.
I can go, but if someone that wants to go that hasn't been yet,
Right.
I'll just sign up for the conference and cover my own hotel. If that, we can work something out. Cause I'd like to go regardless, but I don't want to be paid for if somebody else that hasn't been.
Like I said, we've got 3 paid spots. So let's get whoever can go up.
I think I'd probably be interested in that. I've been wanting to do this.
It'd be really good for you. And then they'll send out a whole listing of all the different sessions that they have. And you pick and choose what you are most interested in that you want to learn about.
Okay.
And that they're going to have all kinds of information up there that it really is kind of an overabundance, and you're going to get like, whoa, overwhelmed of, yeah, lot of stuff. But it's a great place to make contacts of other people and other municipalities, of other council members, trustees, whatever.
Mhm.
So that if you have a question of, hey, how does Breckenridge do this thing? Of course,
Right.
I always find it funny because they always say they have sessions for small towns, towns of 8,000. I'm like, no. So
No, it
But they
sounds like
do-
a really good thing.
they do, they have a lot of really good things. So think about it. That's why I wanted to bring it up now, since it's, what, 2 months away, 3 months away? Start thinking about it. Let Jen know who wants to go so that she can get everything taken care of. And that's all I have. So citizens' comments, anybody wishing to address the council on anything that was already talked about or not talked about that they didn't get a chance to in the meeting itself, can do so at this time. Come forward, state your name and address. You've got 3 minutes. Or if there's anybody online who would like to address the council. I really should get some Jeopardy music, you know. Let the record show that nobody is speaking up. So with that,
I was just wondering, are we going to let them know that,
next meeting,
we can let them know there'll be next meeting, or I don't know if they're,
we will vote and make the appointment next meeting. Yep. Thank you all for coming in and being here for the interviews. That was really appreciative. And with that, meeting's adjourned at 6:35. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.